Stojíme před výběhem slonů a zavítala k nám vzácná návštěva profesor Hildebrand z Leibnizova institutu v Berlíně, který nám přišel vysvětlit a odprezentovat výsledky pitvy našeho sloního mláděte. So Thomas, could I ask you, could you please just shortly describe what happened with Sumitra, the death cause and the progress of the research?
Yeah. We received shortly after the death of Sumitra the samples, heart, liver and kidney, and we tested it for the virus, the elephant herpes virus, and the results in all three organs was positive. That makes it clear that Sumitra unfortunately died from elephant herpes virus, and that explains why it went so fast and why there was no chance to save her life.
And what's the update with your research? How far did you get so far?
Yeah, it's really pity that we had not the solution in our hand at the time when Sumitra died, because we got generous supported by the Ostrava Zoo and the city of Ostrava to find a solution, but research is a long-term process, and we are trying to identify components in the vegetation and natural vegetation like leaves or nuts or fruits which has a protective effect in young elephants. And so far we haven't found this component. What we know for sure is that elephant milk itself protects the calves. So an elephant calf which is suckling will never get herpes virus. So in the milk itself is a protective component, but there should be also a component in leaves or fruits in the natural vegetation, and we're searching for that and working quite intensively on this task in Borneo. Tomorrow I leave again to Borneo.
Could you please describe what's herpes virus, what it causes, and the perspective to future?
The elephant herpes virus is a very specific virus. It is more than 4 million years old. It lives with Asian elephants for a long time and didn't kill all the Asian elephants. It lives in a kind of coexistence, but now what we see is that it has a fatal effect on elephant calves in captivity, but also in the wild. We don't know really why that happened, why the virus gets so aggressive, but we know that it really can threaten the captive breeding programs and also the survival of Asian elephants in the wild. That makes it so important to find a solution. The elephant herpes virus is in a very specific own family. That means proboscis herpes virus, which was created after the identification of this virus. That was not existing before. Proboscis herpes virus has the feature that it multiplies in endothelial cells. Endothelial cells are the inner layer of the blood vessels, and when this inner layer is destroyed by the virus, all the blood vessels leaking. And that explains why we have blood all over. We have blood in the heart muscle, we have blood in the stomach, or we have blood in the intestine. And if the virus went so far in the replication, there's no chance to save the calf.
And are we the only case of a herpes virus in the recent time?
Now, right now, we see really an accumulation of cases. Last year alone in Europe, there were 4 cases. The last case happened in La Pale in France, and a young 4-year-old female died very suddenly, similar to Sumitra, which died at the beginning of January.
And which elephants are the most threatened by herpes virus?
This typical herpes virus disease only kills Asian elephants. In the beginning, it was even thought that the African elephants, which seems to be quite immune against this virus, is a carrier of it, but that's not really true. The Asian elephant carries this virus too. And there are only 2 cases in which African elephants died from this virus, but in both cases the elephant immune system was affected by other conditions, so we don't really count them. So the main target for the Asian elephant herpes virus is the Asian elephant calf. And when the elephant gets older, so around 15 or 20, then the likelihood that it dies from this disease is very, very small. So only the calves die from it.
Okay, so in this case, Rashmi is threatened as well. Is there anything we can do?
Rashmi is highly threatened. She's in exactly the age group which is mainly affected by the virus. And as we discussed before, the only treatment we can find out right now is that she suckle as long as possible from the mother, because the milk, the elephant milk, has a component which kills the virus on the surface of the mucosa, and it can't enter the body of the little elephant. So milk, elephant milk, is the best what we can do right now.
Okay, thank you very much.